So we'll start this video off by the text message I received from my wife. Can you please get Joseph a nightlight today? And please, please, please don't make it car themed. Obviously that's not something we're going to do. Yes, there will be a nightlight. Yes, it has to be car themed. But how are we going to do this? So these are Eagle Eye LEDs. I've got quite a few of them left over from when I was younger and I bought heaps of them. And these here are 9-volt battery boxes with an on-off switch. And my plan is this. My plan is to use this old, I think it's the left-hand side tail lights of an R34. It's in Bayside Blue. I paid $25 for it about 4 or 5 years ago. Probably worth a lot more now because of COVID tax and whatnot. But this is what you're going to need. So you're going to need one of these 9-volt battery boxes, a hot glue gun, and obviously some glue sticks if you've got one. I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but you will need probably one of these battery boxes so you can turn them on and off. Links in the description for everything I've used today anyway, so no issues there. Now here's one that I've mocked up or knocked up to begin with, and basically the reason for that is that I'm going to use connectors on the other side to basically put them together, and pretty much it'll be just click in and click out basically. So that's the connector there for the battery box, and then I've obviously got the other end male into female, so that'll work well. Now just forewarning, I did mess this up originally, but I'll go through that a little bit later. I'm going to fast forward through me obviously doing all the wiring and stuff, because you guys probably know positive to positive, negative to negative, and I don't want this video to go for too long. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting in the LEDs, and then I'm just doing some hot glue around it to seal it in there. This one wasn't the issue, it was the two smaller lights on the outer side of the tail lights, and I'll get to what the issues were with that shortly. But as you can see here, that this one sits in there quite snugly, and it works well. Basically I did originally start with 2 LEDs, and then I went for one, just because it was a bit looked a bit weird. So you can see I've done one side of the tail lamps now, and basically I am just going through and doing the other side with some hot glue and obviously the Eagle Eye LEDs. Now here is when we start running into the problem, which I didn't really know to begin with. Unfortunately, I probably should have done a bit more research into operating temperatures of LEDs and hot glue. Because basically what happened after I had set that up and done all that is that, in a nutshell, it basically melted the glue and they fell out, and there was glue inside the tail lights, and it was a big mess that I had to clean up. So we're just going to test the lights now. This is prior to obviously me discovering that glue melted all inside. Which is all cleaned up now, it's fixed, but it was just annoying. So I just wanted to get a bit of an idea of what they look like when they're illuminated. Now I think the problem was with the voltage that I tried to illuminate them with. I tried to illuminate them with an 18 volt battery, as opposed to a 9-volt, which I probably should have done to begin with, but I had one charging, so I just thought I'd use it. So look, it looks okay. It looks cool. You know what I mean? Like, if I had one of these sitting in my room back in the day, I'd be pretty happy, especially if I knew what it was. Now it kind of matches my son's room in terms of decor and artwork I've got on the wall. But yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just touching the lenses now to feel how hot they're getting, and they weren't really that hot, which is why I didn't obviously notice that the glue was melting. So the solution to all this was obviously to use a 9-volt battery, but also to use rubber grommets around the LED. So instead of the lights sitting directly inside the housing, they sat on the outside and it was just the actual beam going in there. So you'll see here I've got a grommet around there, and basically what I do with that is I just set it right on the outside of the actual light, and I put some hot glue there afterwards when I sealed everything up, and basically left it like that. So in a nutshell, the process was exactly the same. Obviously negative to negative, positive to positive, and all the rest of that. That was exactly the same, and this is what it looked like at the end. So basically you can see everything has been glued in there, and they're not actually sitting in the lights anymore, they're on the outside. And then I'm just running through a few tests and stuff at the moment. So you can see the setup I was talking about here with the battery box and obviously the male to female connector. Pretty easy to do, but yeah, basically that was it. So now I'm going to test everything, and obviously make sure everything's working, and as you can see it probably looks a little bit better than what I thought it would, if I'm honest, but it's very late at night at the moment, so I was very, very tired, and I just had enough, to be honest with you. I was like, I should have just bought the Nightlight, but obviously I'm testing here the on and off switch, so you guys can see. Now, ideally in the future, what I'd like to do is get a remote for this, so you can turn it on and off with a remote, and potentially even power it to a PowerPoint, maybe in the future. But from that case, it doesn't look too bad. And then when I turn the lights off, it looks pretty good as well. I need to get some lower LEDs on the inside lights, because I think they're a little bit too bright, and basically it just makes them stand out a lot more. But it depends on what angle you're standing on. With eagle eye headlights, yeah, it's 12:51. I'm so tired. With eagle eye headlights or LEDs, it's directional. So we're gonna mount it to my son's room now. This is his room. Obviously you can see I've got the wall art up there now. Now my son's room has a blackout feature, or blackout curtains, where basically if I shut the door, it goes completely pitch dark, or pitch black, and you'll see that in a second. And you can see how the lights stand out. So literally it is the only thing that is visible in the room. It gives off a bit of light, not too much, but again, when a kid's sleeping, you don't want to have bright lights, so having the red there is definitely a good idea. But that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it, and until next time, you take care.